when it comes to designing products and thinking about the environment, we have the beginning, of course, we need to think about the need and whether the product can fulfill the need that consumers have. We'll leave aside for the moment the idea that consumers can be made into wanting to need something. But here we have a new item. It's a combination of butter and canola oil and some salt that have been put together here. And we'll leave aside for the moment if you feel like this is a mistake, that we should not be consuming animal products at all. Leaving that aside for the moment. When the item is used up, what is the remaining packaging? Well, we have a plastic lid. We have some sort of material here that may be paper. We have a plastic container. We also have paper on the side. Now, I've already started to deal with this. Let's move to the side here. What can we see about this? Well, okay, it's not ecological, but the store didn't have any when that was bought. This is all plastic. That can go into plastic recycling. Obviously. Well, what about the rest here? Well, it says on the side that you can rip here, as it says, and you should be able to move the paper. And so this would mean that we would have the paper protection on the top, the paper on the bottom, the plastic sort of tub, and the plastic lid. And everything can be recyclable. But the question is, why do we need to have the paper when we have the plastic? Perhaps we could make the plastic into something a bit thicker, and we would just have a plastic lid and a plastic bottom, and the packaging would be only plastic, even though plastic is not so that great for the environment. Now instead we have a more complicated kind of packaging which requires this consumer puts more effort into dividing things up to separate this. Now some of you who are looking at this video in Sweden might say to yourself, oh wow, what a wonderful innovation in the 2020s that this company has done this. Well, surprise to surprise, in the very late 1990s and the very beginning of this century, in other words 2000, 2003, 2005, this was the standard for this kind of packaging. But it didn't seem like the consumers paid all that much attention to that. And so slowly that was phased out, and now suddenly it is back again. Which just goes to show that maybe certain things are more technically possible than companies are making us lead to believe. So we could see that we have two options here. One, we could make things that are for food packaging, where we would have as few materials as possible for packaging, meaning it's easiest to put things for recycling and doesn't make things complicated for the consumer. The other option is that we make things where it's more paper, which would go in some sort of a short carbon cycle, and that we would be avoiding as much plastic as possible, because it would be a little difficult having paper in direct connection with this butter. And it seems like the paper has been treated, but we'll just leave that aside for the moment. So we can see that there are a number of different choices, and that certain things are not intuitively obvious. However, we might be able to use some of the principles of eco-design that could help us try to figure out what to do. And if we can't do anything with that, then maybe we need to do an LCI. And if that doesn't help us enough, maybe we need to do an LCA.